Spade arc introduced some of the strongest versions of the characters in Black Clover. Here I'll be debating who is the strongest between these two popular and talented characters, Nacht and Noelle of the Black Bulls, and see who will come out on top in two well-acclaimed arcs. First off, I will be going on again with the Spade arc, of course, in order. And so this video is not scripted, just a fun fact out there, and I'm just going over my interpretation of how they fought and their battle feats in these two well-acclaimed arcs, and just to see who will come out on top in both of them. So first off, let's start with our girl Noelle. So Noelle's Spade feats. In the beginning, when she was introduced in the Spade arc, when she returned to fight Vonica, she came back in her Valkyrie form, and she was able to quickly join that fight and basically contend with 80% Vonica at the moment. Previously, when she fought Vonica, she was in a mermaid form, amped tremendously by Lila Pechica. But this time around, she's grown stronger and she was able to contend against Vonica in her 80% form. That shows growth. But not only that, does happen for a short while. With her Saint Spirit Dive newly unlocked form, she completely low diffed 100% Vonica after, Vonica got much stronger. So she completely low diffed 100% Vonica with ease. So that shows the gap in their strength in just a short period of time after she acquired the spirit. That spirit tremendously, that being Undine, drawed out her potential and showed how much stronger she's gotten. So they were able to quietly low diff 100% Vonica, and that was a no feat to be laughable at. So let's continue. Here she fought against her next upcoming fight in this arc. She fought against and impressed a leader of Hell, that being Megicula. We all know Megicula, the strongest rulers of Hell. She was quickly placed as such when Astaroth left the underworld, and so she is well acclaimed and one of the strongest, most impressionable, most influential rulers of Hell, that being Megicula, with Curse Warding Magic, one of the strongest magic attributes in the series this far. And yeah, Noelle was able to fight against her, 1/3 of her power to be exact, but still tremendously strong, with all her hacked abilities to create an army, explode life, and create puppets, and so on. She's still incredibly strong despite us being 1/3 of her power, and Noelle was able to fight against her and contend against her. Yes, she did. She couldn't have done it without the help of other members, but just being there and being the only sole fighter to be able to take her down is not a feat to be looked down upon, and she was able to fight against said devil, Megicula, a ruler of Hell. So those are Noelle's Spade feats thus far. So let's go into Nacht. Nacht's Spade feats now. So just like in order of Noelle's, he fought against a triad member as well, and he fought against the same too. He fought against an 80% amped and healed Dante, because he was healed by Morris and all. So he was fought against Dante that was way stronger than the Dante that Yami and Asta fought. So he was fighting against that said Dante with the help of Jack, of course. Jack having the affinity to actually hurt Dante. It was a big upper hand in that fight, but he was able to enter his union mode and able to block strikes from that 80% Dante and land a blow on him, and that's no feat to laugh at too. So that's a good feat for him in the beginning of this arc. Not only that, the first gate opened and emerged Lilith and Namad, first gate devils that were stated to be way stronger than 100% of that devil triad's power. He was able to go up against that said devil, Lilith and Namad, twin devils to be exact, two of them against him alone, and he was able to quietly split blitz them on multiple occasions, evade their attacks, and he was able to cast a supreme level spell against them. So that is again a very, very incredible feat, almost on par with Noelle's, with her being able to take down 100% Vonica with ease. So him being able to fight a twin that is much stronger than 100% Dark Triad member and split bits in them is a feat that is good. But at the end of the day, he could not have defeated them. He could not land a strike on them, but just being able to fight with them is a feat to be spoken of. Not only that, his last and final arc. Just like with Noelle, he fought against a ruler of hell too. He fought against the strongest ruler of hell, Lucifero, after he was emerged from hell using his tactics. And so in this fight, many of the captains, none of them could ever play a part in this fight. We only have the strongest mages like Meriliona, Yami, Yuno, and Asta being able to fight, and of course Nacht himself. Nacht supported greatly in this fight. If not for Nacht, they wouldn't have gotten this fight and they wouldn't have won. Obviously, Asta was a pivotal fighter here, but without Nacht, they wouldn't have gotten that far with his hacked abilities and his insane battle IQ and his tremendous help to Yami. They wouldn't have won the fight against Lucifero, 50% Lucifero. He aided tremendously, though not being able to land much of a strike with his tactics, with his spells, with his advantageous abilities. They were able to get the upper hand on Lucifero in this fight. So that's a feat that is insanely important to take in consideration. So let's get down to it now. Based on all the details that's explained for both of them in the Spade arc, I come to the conclusion that the winner here would be Noelle. Now, before I get jumped in the comments, let's explain why. With both her opponents, this is for Noelle, of course. With both her and her opponents having advantageous abilities, she still overpowered her 100% that Triad member opponent, and she finished off her Devil King level opponent too, with the support, of course, but it was still more memorable than the likes of Nacht, who really couldn't do much against his Devil King opponent, but he still aided them tremendously. Unlike Noelle, she played a pivotal part in defeating her Devil Ruler opponent. And of course, 50% make Lucifer was way stronger than Mega Killer, but just how much they supported in those fights, I would say Noelle did a way better job. So just like I said with Nacht, whilst him having advantageous abilities, he got outmatched by his 80 Triad member, and he failed to damage a first gate Devil opponent despite acquiring a high rank Devil power due to his low offensive ability. So his low offensive ability kind of made him lose some marks here in this fight. So I'd say Noelle takes the win for the Spade arc. Now for the Judgment Day arc. The current arc that we're currently in and should be coming to an end by this year, I believe. Judgment Day arc. Let's start off with Nacht first. He fought really hard against another opponent that outclassed him. That seems to be a trend for Nacht. He always fights against opponents that way outclass him, and that makes it really hard to scale him as a character, because he always ends up having to fight with someone or against someone that is way stronger than him. So yeah, he fought against Paladin Amnesia with tremendous help of the Black Bulls. And let's not go again. This time around, he didn't just fight a character with raw powers, he fought a character that had insane hacks as well. Hacks that, could, change the tides of the fight entirely in their favor alone. And he was insanely outmatched. But then again, he played a tremendous role in this fight. Without him, the Black Bulls wouldn't have made it that far with his support and his leadership. So he did really well in that fight. His performance was really good as well. After acquiring anti-magic from Asta, he went up against the strongest Supreme Paladin, that being Paladin Morgan. And yes, he didn't win this fight, yes, but just how he approached the situation, just how he actually was able to contend against him for a brief moment, contending against a paladin that was way stronger than the other paladins we've previously seen, at least 2 times or 3 times stronger than the other paladins. He was able to briefly go up against that devil with a power that is tremendously strong, that is arguably way stronger than Lithanama and a second gate level devil because of his combination of all his devils. So he was able to go up against Paladin Morgan, and he displayed a tremendous amount of strength, but then again, it wasn't enough because he was going up against the strongest paladin. But it's still a feat worth mentioning, if I do say so myself. So yeah, with that, with the support of Kijin Yami and Ichika, and his Mana Zone technique and his Shadow Magic, earned them the victory in that fight. Also, with his newly acquired power up, that being a 4-way Devil Union, that power, like I said, skyrockets his power way stronger than even a first gate, second gate, even a third gate devil power with the integration of anti-magic. That power, right? And how it was displayed with this feat I'm now describing against Paladin Morgan. It's an insane feat going up against the strongest Paladin, and without him and his monozone technique, they wouldn't have made it this far. They wouldn't have won the fight. After all, he was the one that delivered the finishing blow, right? And I know, as I'm recording this video, Paladin Morgan is not really gone, but at the end of the day, he still won that first battle they fought, and it was up to him. It was primarily because of him why they won that fight. So that's a feat worth mentioning. He did tremendously well in that fight. So now with Noelle. Noelle, her feats very small. After all, she only had one fight in this arc against her mother, Aesir. One of the weaker paladins, if I say so myself. But after Noelle acquired a dragon spirit, that being the one in the underwater sea temple, she fought a supreme paladin by herself. Briefly, she fought that paladin by herself, and she was able to force Aesir to actually use 2 magic attributes during this fight. Not many opponents were able to do that. You'd have to make the paladin really agitated or really struggle to have them use their magic types, but we see here in this arc that Noelle was able to do that with her newly acquired powers. So Aesir having to use 2 magic attributes against her was a good feat, and she was able to fight against her all by herself briefly, but still wasn't enough as she needed the help of her siblings, even despite her acquiring a demon dragon and she being tremendously strong into the Spade arc. She still needed the Neverland Amp, and she also needed the help of her siblings to be able to be charged up a well shot attack at Paladin Aesir. That's an Amped Sea Dragon Roar, and we all know she packs a punch with her power. Her power is tremendously, it was ranked to be that of a Wizard King level power. Her mana is insane, so given enough time, of course she will be able to launch an attack that could tremendously damage a devil, or tremendously damage a foe that is way stronger than her, right? So she being able to one-shot Paladin Aesir that gave her a run for her money is an insane feat, and it shows how much potential she has. But that potential was only brought out because of her support of her siblings, allowing her to charge up this ability. But at the end of the day, she didn't really contend well. A Paladin Aesir quite literally mid differ, or not, actually low differ in that fight. So she struggled a lot against one of the weaker paladins, Supreme Paladins, and though her performance was insane, and though she was able to one-shot said paladin, I'd say that Nacht performed much better, which is why I think the Judgment Day arc winner here is Nacht. And like I said, this time around, Nacht faced an opponent that out-hacked and outpowered him many fighters this arc, right? He's fought some of the strongest Supreme Paladins. I'm talking Paladin Damnatio and Paladin Morgan. So, but still, he remained to be a pivotal fighter in acquiring their victory against them, or at least leading the fight against them, while Noelle got an opponent that fought her way, overpowering their opponent. That's how Noelle has fought, and she always wins up against fighters that were overhacked her, but she used overpowering to beat him, right? This time around she fought a power that was similar to hers, and she still needed Neverland's Amp and her siblings' efforts to even stand a chance of winning against one of the weaker Supreme Paladins. So with that said, we all know, based on comparing it to Nacht's feats and how he performed in his fights, I would give the winner to Judgment Day arc, Nacht. So yeah, that is my take on who is the winner between Nacht and Noelle. Obviously, like I said, Noelle takes the winner spot in the Spade Kingdom arc, and in this current arc now, Judgment Day arc, Nacht will take the winner based on all the feats and performance I explained in this video. If you guys have anything to say about this matter, this debate, go on in the comments down below, tell me how you feel about it, and please feel free to leave any insights or things that I have missed, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in another one. Peace.